I think it's an amazing thing for anyone to piss off the angry, insecure, conservative people of the world, especially angry, insecure, conservative, straight men. But right now, our national treasure and amazing queer ally, well, he might not be an ally if, you know what I mean. Pedro Pascal is out here doing the absolute most. For those of you who don't know, straight conservative men right now are mad at Pedro because, according to them, he's getting away with heavy petting with his female co-stars. Yep, you heard that right. They're mad because he's being affectionate towards women and not even in a creepy way. Just in a way that says, hey, I'm an emotionally intelligent man who's comfortable with non-sexual physical touch. And apparently that's way too much for them to handle. These are just some of the tweets coming out of the anti-Pedro Pascal part of the internet. Again, I've been struggling with depression and anxiety since 1987. Not once did any shrink or counselor tell me to touch or grope people to alleviate the stress. Pedro Pascal is a creep. Why does he never have anxiety around his male co-stars or less attractive co-stars? Creeps all over the world will be studying how Pedro Pascal managed to convince all these women to openly paw at him in public to soothe his anxiety. Pure predatory behavior. Not long ago, Trump made the observation, if you're rich and famous, women let you touch them inappropriately. Leftists were outraged, and now that a rich and famous man, Pedro Pascal, is doing just that, leftists bend over backwards defending him, which proves Trump correct. Touching another man's pregnant wife like that is grounds for getting unalived. I doubt any man on earth would disagree. So let's back up and unpack what's actually been going on, why they're so mad about it, if this is an actual pattern to be worried about, and why exactly conservatives, specifically conservative men, are so pressed by this. So Pedro Pascal, aka the internet's zaddy, aka the man who has literally been in everything lately, and I am so here for it, has recently been on press tour for the Fantastic Four movie that has recently come out. And by the way, go see it if you haven't yet. And that's coming from someone who hasn't seen it yet. I want to go see it. I'll probably go see it this weekend. I'm literally making this video before I actually go see the movie, but go watch the movie because, like, we gotta support our man. So anyway, he's been on this press tour with all of his co-stars, but the person that men over on Twitter have been crying about is his co-star Vanessa Kirby, and how the two of them have been seen getting particularly close during the press tour. And by that I mean the two of them have been seen touching each other? And then no, not like that. More like putting his hand around her waist when they're taking a photo together, resting his head on her shoulder, smiling at her like she is an actual human being and not just some prop. And this, my friends, has conservative men and women, because let's be real, there are so many women out there that uphold this kind of toxic masculinity as well. Saw all of this going on and have now decided that Pedro Pascal is some sort of criminal. Not because he was doing anything remotely inappropriate. No. They're mad because he hasn't been sexualizing it. And yet they have been. He didn't use moments like this to inappropriately touch her or grope her, or assert dominance or own the room, or whatever kind of red pill nonsense these people have been inhaling on the internet for the past 10 years. Instead, he's just gentle and respectful and soft, quite literally being a gentle man. And that apparently is unacceptable to the hardcore alpha males of the world. Have you ever noticed how conservative men freak out the most not when someone is breaking the rules, but when someone breaks the rules of masculinity, they literally cling on to for dear life? Pedro Pascal isn't like them. He's warm. He talks about the issues that he cares about. He's comfortable around queer and trans people. He paints his nails sometimes. He cries during interviews. He says, "I love you" to his friends. He's a very affectionate man. Basically, he's what every toxic man fears the most. A man that doesn't need their approval. And this is the same guy who held up a trans flag when his sister came out as trans, who's openly talked about Bella Ramsey and their experience with severe online harassment, who talks about how important immigrants are to this country during a very difficult, scary political time, who has also gotten into beef with J.K. Rowling and called her a heinous loser, and said this about it. The one thing I would say I agonize over a little bit was just am I helping? I want to protect the people I love, but it goes beyond that. Bullies make me fucking sick. God, I love this man. And they can't stand that he's loved. That women love him, that queer and trans people love him, that people of color love him, that he doesn't need to perform straight masculinity in order to be powerful and well liked, that he is who he is, that he literally worries about protecting the people that he cares about and loves, and stands up to bullies and harassment, that the people around him, men and women and non-binary people, have never said anything bad about his character and that he's never made them feel uncomfortable. So now that everyone but the manosphere loves him, now it's right-wing people saying that he's creepy, that he's a predator, that he's getting away with it. But like, what exactly is it? Being touchy and tactile with someone who is quite literally touching him back? If you actually look at all of the footage and interviews that he and Kirby have done together, you will see that 9 times out of 10, she's the one reaching out to him. I genuinely don't understand how these insecure men on the internet can be screaming about him being creepy when she is literally the one who is initiating a lot of this physical touch. But it's not really like any of them would actually know what it feels like to have a woman actively try to be cuddly or touchy with them. So of course they have to sexualize this and claim that Pascal is a creep. Also, if you just look back at how Pedro Pascal is with all of his co-stars, you can genuinely see that he's not making people uncomfortable. Like, look at these, y'all. You can see he's this way with men, women, non-binary people. He literally creates a space that helps people feel comfortable. It's also these conservative men and women that literally can't imagine any kind of touch without it being sexual, which to me is extremely telling. So you might be asking at this point, yeah, okay, it's funny to point out the hypocrisy of conservative men, but is this really important to be talking about? Does it really even matter? Yes. Yes, it does. Because when a man with as much cultural reach that Pedro Pascal has, this man has literally been in like everything lately. You can look up, I think he's done 9 or 10 movies in the past 2.5, 3 years. This man's working, okay? When this kind of man stands with queer people, when he makes tenderness and kindness cool, when he gets praised instead of mocked, it challenges everything that conservative masculinity has been trying to teach men. Well, I was actually going to say for decades, but it's genuinely been like since forever, since patriarchy has been around, alive, which is thousands of years, which is wild to think about. The right has actively been pushing red pill content onto men, young and old, for years now. And it's so important to be uplifting men like Pedro Pascal, who rejects that toxic way of masculinity fully, authentically himself. And also, it gives us something as well. It gives queer people, especially young queer people, a figure who's not just a celebrity, but a symbol of something better, something safer, something kinder. And the world needs kindness right now. We see all the hate that he's getting and think, damn, if this man with all of his fame and power gets dragged for just being decent, what are they gonna do to us? But then we also have the opportunity to think, if he still shows up anyway, maybe we can too. My favorite way that he shows up is wearing the Protect the Dolls shirt. He literally wears it all the time, and I absolutely love that, which is actively showing that he's a safe space for not only trans women, but women and queer people in general. So I love it. The only pattern that I'm actively seeing here is someone who is creating a safe working environment to cultivate platonic relationships where people feel seen and safe. And because the people he's making feel safe are women, the alpha bros of the world, see this as some sort of threat because they genuinely can't imagine how to get a woman to act this way towards them without actually sexually harassing them. Instead of looking at Pedro and having some self-reflection and thinking, how can I personally be better slash safer to women? They literally blame and harass a man of color who has never gotten a bad word said about him from from his female co-stars. Also, can I just say the whole "it's disrespectful to treat another man's wife this way"? My guys, Vanessa is literally a whole ass person with agency and her own autonomy who might be perfectly fine and happy with platonic touch. And her partner might be okay with it too. You don't know her relationships and the ins and outs of what they are actively okay with. And reducing her down to another man's wife is simply just misogynistic and gross. So as this video comes to an end, I just want to talk to the conservative men out there who might be watching this. I know you're there. I know y'all love to hate watch queer content, so hi babes. I'm just gonna tell it to you like this. It's okay to feel weird when you see Pedro Pascal being soft. It's okay to feel a little confused. You have been sold a very small version of what masculinity can be. But the truth is, being kind, being emotionally intelligent, being affectionate, being LGBT, or being close to people in the LGBTQIA plus community, none of that makes you weak. You want to know what makes you weak? Needing to tear someone down because they're loved in a way that you don't understand. Not every man is for you. Sometimes there's men out there for the girls, gays, and theys. And that's honestly exactly who Pedro Pascal is for. So please, just leave this man alone. We'll take him. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I would love to hear all of your reactions to this controversy and what you think about it. I personally think it's a little bit of a smear campaign against someone who is actively talking about all of the things that people don't really want talked about right now. I also just want to shout out all of my amazing Patreon supporters. They help videos like this one get made. And if you want to help support a queer content creator during these very interesting times, please be sure to check out the link down in the description. Genuinely, any type of support helps, so thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you all again for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.